Ooh. Are we trying to see who's louder? I mean, that was pretty unbelievable that you're twice as far away from me.
And twice as loud. I am telling you, I just have an incredible ability to be loud. Piercing, some might say. Piercing hard man.
It's like I'm a little disappointed in myself because I've always been the loudest person. Mm-hmm. Everybody always says, you're so loud. And part of it I blame on my inability to hear very well. And so I oftentimes talk so I can hear myself talking. But you're louder than me.
I am.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I never thought that would happen ever.
No, I think that I have like something in my voice that makes it pierce through the noise, you know?
Well,
real gift.
Let's use your gift for good while you stand back 10 feet from the mic.
I will.
Want to give it a clap?
Let me just go to the other side of the room. And 1, 2, 3. Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters. In law. We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans.
This is Season 4, Episode 11, Enough is Enough, and Season 4, Episode 12, Respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, take care of the PCT. Oh, respect.
What did you say?
Take care of the PCT.
What does that stand for?
Because when you spell respect, you gotta make sure you take care of all the letters, including the P, the C.
As soon as you said it, you knew I was going to quiz you.
Oh, yeah, no, I've never known what she says there.
But what does PCT stand for you in your eyes?
It's in respect.
Yeah, but
it's take care of
it's
those
just take care of those letters.
Because of course you're going to take care of R-E-S, but then an E, because E's a vowel.
Resi, yeah.
Yeah, but take care of P-C-T. Ow! A little respect.
I wish more than anything there was a camera on your face right now.
Ow! A little respect. Oh, I'm glad you respect my choices to sing that song that way.
I do.
Thank you.
I think we should all take care of a little PCT. You know what I'm saying?
Take care of that PCT.
Take care of that PCT.
Yeah. You know, some people say PYT, but Rieth said PCT.
Take care of PCT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty cool thing.
Pretty cool thing. Take care of pretty cool thing. Well, that's you, Maggie, so I'm going to take care of you tonight.
Oh, I'm going to take care of you because I've created a PCT, which is a brief. A pretty cool thing.
A pretty cool thing.
A brief.
Okay, let's hear it.
I want to note that because we're doing 2 episodes in one episode.
Yes.
When I write the brief, I start it after I watch the first episode so I don't forget things. And then I finish it after I watch the second. And so I don't think this is necessarily a recipe for success.
So what you're saying is you didn't read it through afterwards to make sure it
I did not. I've Frankensteined this brief together, and I don't know if there's anything that holds it together.
If I'm being honest, I've kind of Frankensteined my life together. So
this fits.
It fits, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Lewis kicks off his reign of terror at the firm with all the pomp and circumstance of a name partner unveiling. Everyone around him is buried in shit, and he's got a shit-eating grin about the whole thing. He's not letting anything go. Harvey's not letting his client Gerard go, and Jessica's not letting her guard fully down with Jeff Malone, even though she gives him a bone about Hardman's embezzlement to justify Lit's name on the wall. You could say there are 3 queen bees outside the elevator, but there are only 4 queens in a deck of cards. Mike Ross knows this because he can count cards. And it's how they catch Gerard in a lie. Lie, 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 lie. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? That's the song that plays at the end of episode 12.
Yeah, good callback. You know, I think it was probably a good, like a correct assessment to say that was Frankenstein together, and that's okay.
You could tell?
I could tell, but I also knew what you were doing. It did seem like you just came back and added to it, and then we're like, I wonder if this works. But it does work.
It works. You know what? The thing about what I'm learning about Suits is you could think, wow, I know where this is going. Let me get my thoughts together. Mm-hmm. And then the next episode, you're like, oopsie doopsie. Mm-hmm.
They'll keep you guessing, that's for sure.
They will.
Mm-hmm. You want to dive in here to this BC situation, which is kind of like pretty hot and intense with old Harvey driving a stick shift?
So episode 11 kicks off, enough is enough. And I was like, who's going to say this? Who's going to say enough is enough? Because all of them have enough on their plates right now.
And enough is enough.
And enough is enough.
You're right.
Harvey is driving stick shift in the city, and it's like this super wild camera. It's behind him. It's just on the side of the car. He's going super fast. He's having so much fun. This song is playing, and the lyrics are, the whole world's sitting on a ticking bomb.
Yes.
Staring at a loaded gun. And we know Harvey has this whole thing about loaded guns and what to do with them.
Right.
And then he walks into Jessica Pearson's office. Mm-hmm. And who's sitting in the shadows in the corner?
Lewis Marlowe Litt.
Lewis Marlowe Litt. And he stands up, and he is not going to take this sitting down. Mm-mm. And he's like, I'm getting my name up on the wall tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. And Jessica's like, nah, not tomorrow. We have to like make a case for this. And he's like, you're buying time. I need it to happen ASAP.
Right.
And then Harvey's like, I can't believe you did that.
And
Jessica.
She's like, I didn't have a choice. He was going to call like, if I didn't do this, we're all going down.
Right. And Harvey's still thinking Lewis is the old Lewis, the weak Lewis.
No, we are about to just really roll into a different season of Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis is not the same Lewis that Harvey thinks he is. And Jessica tells Harvey, she says, I had to take it, so you're going to take it.
Yeah. Ooh, dang. We find Harvey then down in his office with Donna. Donna is staring out the window. She is sobbing. She feels awful. She thinks she's the one that broke this to Lewis. Right. Which, I mean, she did confirm it, but Lewis already knew. Like, there was, he was about to pick up the phone and call Sheila Amanda Saz, and we couldn't have that. Right. Because he figured out why she said don't call her last year. Yes. So Donna's feeling bad. I feel like Harvey was comforting her. I made the note that he is really sweet to her here. He's like, Donna, this is not your fault.
Right. Because that's a fact. Like, it's not her fault. Yeah. She does not need to take on the responsibility of this.
No. Sweet Donna trying to carry the burden, No. And then she wants to tell Mike. And he was like, no, not tonight, because he just had a huge win, so I don't want to spoil it for him.
And that is not a good idea. Because then we see Lewis Marlowe Litt.
Knockety knock knock.
Knockety knock knock, knockety knock knock, knocking on Mike Ross's door.
Yes.
And Mike opens. He's like, what's up, Lewis? What's up, Lewis? What's up?
Oh, man. But you could tell before Lewis really even started talking, Mike had a change in his face. And you could tell, like, he kind of knew something. And then when he starts talking, da-da-da-dang.
Because Lewis comes into the apartment. And he's, like, itching his nose. He looks like he's, like, a hound dog.
Yeah.
On the trail.
Yeah. Who let that dog out?
Who
let the dog out?
Lewis Litt.
Who let the dog out?
He says he holds up the key. He dangles that little key
from the coif. The coiffy key.
That coiffy key. And he goes, look at this. Look at this little mystery. And he says he's going to bury Mike unless he resigns. And he's going to bury him. Like, make him regret everything he has ever done. Rachel walks in her trench coat.
That we love.
Love this
Burberry trench coat. So classic.
So beautiful. Where is she coming from?
Work.
Law school? Work?
We don't know.
She was at the office maybe when all of this was happening?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Down.
She was just like down the hall and didn't even know that this was coming to her front door. And then she's like, oh my God, he knows. And then Mike looks off into the distance, and he says, he doesn't just know. He's a named partner.
And that's how it feels.
That's how it feels. It feels like thunder and lightning happens, and the power goes out, and Louis Litt's in a cape about to murder them.
Yeah, dude. We're about to roll in now after the credits, and we're going to see a whole new Louis Marlowe Litt. So Harvey tells Mike this story there about boxing camp, about when he was a kid. He was like, hey, because Mike's like, I got to quit. I can't do this. He's like, I quit every goddamn day that I went there. I just didn't let people know it. It's supposed to be this like motivational story. And I don't know that it completely lands with Mike.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of like, okay, all right.
Okay, this is like when you're a child and you didn't, if you quit, you wouldn't be going to prison, or if you stayed at boxing camp, you wouldn't be running the risk of being a fraud or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the best analogy, but Harvey's trying. Then Louis goes in and shows Mike just how he's going to bury him. Uh-huh. He's going to bury him with loads of paralegal paperwork because he's not a lawyer.
Yeah, so he scrapes his name off. He scrapes the associate off the door.
Scrapes it off his door.
Yeah.
So petty.
Which also is like, when you do that, that's like a huge red flag. What are you doing, dude?
I know. He's on this, like, burning things up. Then Donna's, like, even talking to him, and he's like, I can't throw away something that never existed in the first place about their entire friendship. Mm-hmm. He is just burning bridges. Mm-hmm. And he's so smug about it. And then Donna's like, you know what? Sooner or later, you're going to need someone.
Yeah. Which brings me to my first deposition.
I walked right into it.
You did walk right into it. Okay. Has there ever been a time in your life where you can answer either or both?
Okay.
Where you're like, dang, I wish I would have been nicer to them because I really could use something from them right now. Or has there ever been a time where you're like, dang, you should have been nicer to me because you sure need me right now?
Oh, no, not really.
Okay.
But I have thought about this. I'm really good at relationships that are right in front of me. Mm-hmm. I'm like great at it, I feel like.
Okay.
Like I feel like I'm pretty good when I'm present in the moment with someone.
Yeah.
But then if I'm just like a couple steps removed, I just like, oh man, I never reach out to people.
Yeah.
Like even when I was a kid, if it was summer vacation, I was like, I just don't remember anyone. It's just me time.
It's just you hanging out. Okay.
So I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, I wonder if like it would be, if I would be better at that, if it would be behoove anyone.
It would behoove everybody. You're great.
Everyone. Yeah. But not to necessarily get something from someone, just to be like, oh.
Just to stay connected.
Yeah, just to stay connected. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh, you can always reach out to someone.
Yeah, you can.
Like anytime you're like, hey, I was just thinking of you. Haven't talked to you in like 8 years, but I'm just thinking about you.
Yeah, hey, let's go hang. Let's get a hang on.
Yeah, and then that's kind of fun.
Let's get a hang on. Let's get a hang in.
Let's get a hang out.
Let's get a hang out.
Let's get a hangover.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm. How about you?
I would say there are a couple of people where I'm like, shame on you.
Shame on you, naughty.
I tried with you.
Naughty.
Now you need something, and it is a little too late to do the right thing now.
It's a Louis little too late. Mike and Rachel are in the file room, and he's buried in this paralegal paperwork. Yeah. He's drowning. She's like, hey, you need to do what you did with me the last time we were in this room fucking. Mm-hmm. And then I said I wasn't ready to be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And you chased after me and you wouldn't let me go without a fight. Yeah. And Mike's like, okay, that's not exactly the same. Mm-hmm. And she goes, no, Louis loved you at one point. Yeah. And you need to remind him of that. Mm-hmm. This is another time that Rachel's pulling out something that we've seen on the show that does not necessarily fit the same situation.
Well, I think they write for her level of intelligence.
Yeah, but they write for her like she's the best paralegal in the city. She got into Columbia Law, but they write for her like she's
a ding-dong
sometimes. Ding-dong.
Yeah, she's a ding-dong sometimes.
But she's not really in real life. Yeah. But anyways, then they lock the door and have sex again in the file room, which feels reckless and makes me uncomfortable, frankly.
Next up, Louis tells Katrina he's now a named partner, and he proposes to Katrina Amanda Bennett and says, will you be my associate? You know, she tells Louis Jessica's playing Louis for a fool, and if no one can tell her, then why is he named partner? Like,
right, if he can't tell her, and Jessica agreed to it, then
this isn't really the deal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which brings me to my next deposition. I'm going to try and get these out because I do want to keep us moving. Her name is Katrina Amanda Bennett.
Right.
And we have that. Sheila Amanda Sass.
Yes.
Do you think that this was just foreshadowing them knowing that such a hit podcast about a Suits rewatch podcast would have one of the co-stars be named Amanda?
Yes, I do. I 1000% do.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
There's no way that they would name somebody Amanda twice in the middle name. And
The
it's
middle
the meat
name
of the sandwich. It's like it's what keeps everything together and is satiating. Like the meat of the sandwich, Amanda, right?
Yes. No, it exactly.
And
that's
I feel
exactly what I was thinking.
Okay. I saw that you put it in caps.
Right, because I was like, wait, Sheila Amanda Saz
and Katrina Amanda
Bennett. And Amanda's not commonly a middle name.
No, it's usually a front runner for the first
usually
name.
a front runner.
We're usually
for sure.
seeing Amanda as a star name, first on the roster of the names within somebody's name.
Absolutely.
Like myself.
Yes, like you, Amanda Austin.
Yes.
Yeah, so Rachel's daddy, then we see him, right? And he's in his office, and Harvey's like, hey, you don't need to hire Lewis. And he's like, oh, I was just about to hire Lewis. And Harvey's like, no, you weren't. And he's like, well, actually, though, you still owe me. Because there's no way Jessica Pearson would have made Lewis Litt name partner. Because Lewis Litt told Rachel's daddy, Robert Zane, that he was named partner. Even though Jessica said, do not tell anyone. And because he did this, now Harvey owes Robert Zane, Rachel's daddy, a favor.
I know. And this is Lewis going around doing it. Like, he went and confessed to Cahill. And she said, don't do that. She said, do not tell people your name partner yet. He's going and doing it. He is pressing his luck.
Yeah, he's pressing his luck.
His Lewis Litt luck. So then next up we see Mike in there. He is trying to take Rachel's advice. He brings him a gift certificate to Peter's Steakhouse. Look, by the way, I love a good gift card.
Oh,
I know some people don't, and I know people are like, I never use it. I'm like, fair. I will use a gift card.
Give it back.
I'll give it. You don't want it. I'm going to use your gift card. Gives it to Peter's Steakhouse because that's that steakhouse that they saved, that like family-owned steakhouse, to remind him of this like love of the law that they had. And Lewis is like, I don't buy it. I don't take the bait. I'll eat that steak on my own. Thank you. He's like, why don't you go use that big brain of yours to memorize every single case? He said, why don't you use that memory of yours for something other than bullshitting your way through life? Dang.
So now Mike not only has to do paralegal work, he has to know every single case Lewis has ever done ever. Yeah. So Harvey tells Jessica that Lewis is telling people, and then they're fighting. Jessica and Harvey not in a good spot. She tells Harvey again that he needs to take it, and he needs to take it with a smile on his face.
Wow. Put on a happy face.
Put on a happy face.
Grace guys are going to clear up.
This is what they got to do.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it, Harvey.
Take care of PCT.
Take care of PCT.
Yeah.
Ow! Lewis is then in his office, and he's looking at embossed stationery, and it's very expensive, and he goes, well, that better come with a reach around. Never mind, I'm not going to buy it. So gross.
He is so gross.
But then Jessica comes in, and she's like, why did you
go tell people?
I gave you my word. And he's like, your word means shit. And I just noted that they're saying shit a lot in this
and
episode.
They're really saying it.
They're really saying it.
Not like, oh, shit. It's like, shit.
Yeah, shit.
Not like shit.
We're buried in shit.
But it's like, it's...
Your word means shit. Whew.
Yeah.
Gives me the chills.
It's chilling. So next we see a senior partner meeting where Harvey and Jessica announce Lewis as the named partner. They do not want to be there, but obviously they have to play the game. Harvey says the only reason that he's here is I made a mistake. I shouldn't have accepted his resignation. There's no one I'd rather have my name next to than my friend Lewis Litt. Then Lewis is like, oh, it feels like my name's been up there as long as yours. I'm going to be here for a long time. Little cocky ass dum-dum.
Walking to the other side of the room to stare at them.
Just staring like a snake.
Oh, he's so mad.
Yeah. And Jessica tells Harvey, hey, you need to make Lewis feel accepted. That's what he wants. And then Jeff Malone comes in and interrupts, and Harvey's like, excuse me, I have to go kill myself, which was like kind of a weird line out of left field. Carl, okay? We don't ever really see that from Harvey. You know, he's pretty confident.
Yeah. And Jeff Malone's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, he knows something's going on.
He knows what Lewis Litt did. And so he knows he should not be named partner.
Yeah.
And Jessica tells him she can't tell him the truth.
Yeah.
And he asks if he'll handle it, and he goes, I won't handle it forever. But I'll
rightfully so. Well, then he needs to put a ring on it. Then it's privilege, and she can tell him.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Like, seriously.
We saw that in a couple of seasons ago, right?
Yes.
Remember when those people got married, but so it became privileged, and then what everything, like...
It's like if you're so upset that she's not sharing everything with you, then commit to her.
Marry her.
Marry her.
Like, legally, that's what you have to do to get her to spill the beans.
Yes.
Bush's baked beans.
If you want to get into her beans that's not her bean,
that's fair.
You got to put a ring.
Yeah. You want to get into her bush.
Into her bush beans.
Her Bush's baked beans.
You've been in her bush. You've been on her bean. But have you been in her bush's baked beans?
We don't know.
Mm-hmm. Make her spill them.
Yeah. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Now Lewis's reign continues of terror because he's sitting in Rachel's office and she's like, what do you want? And I'm like, I'm not going to bake you a cake, right? Like, she's not excited that he's in there because he's trying to kick out her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he's like, actually, I have more paralegal work for you to do because I run the associates and therefore I run you. He is being super mean to her. She cannot make eye contact with him because he's an absolute asshole and he's trying to tear her down. He's like, you're not an associate. You're nothing. You're horrible. You're such an idiot. Just itching at all of her insecurities. You couldn't even pass the LSAT.
He's big mad. He is so, it's bad. Then up next, we see Rachel's daddy, Robert Zane, and he's drinking tea with Donna. And they're talking about ribs, like how do we cook our ribs, right? And then we discover that Robert is there because he's here to cash in that favor so soon. And it turns out he needs Harvey to go to Scotty because Scotty is now in a lawsuit against Zane's firm and needs Scotty to back down. So we know this is not going to go well.
No, Scotty's back.
Yeah.
So Rachel and Mike are again in the file room, but she's upset. She's like crying. She says it's because she's drowning in paperwork and emotions. And then he's like, what is it, baby? Like, what's going on? Something's up. And she goes, I'm a big girl and I can take care of Lewis. But Michael Ross is pissed.
Yeah, he's standing up for his woman.
And he is going to stand up for her and he is going to go straight in to that piece of shit, Lewis.
Yeah.
And Lewis is like, I'm not the same person. Because Mike's like, I'm the same person I was. Right?
Yeah. And he's like, but I'm not.
I'm not the same person.
Dude.
And he's no longer a man of his word.
Yeah.
And he is going to make Rachel's life hell until Mike breaks. Yeah. So he's not just going after Mike, he is also going after Rachel. What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Then Jessica and Mike fight about his dirty little secret. She's still mad at Mike. And he's like, actually, maybe you should start taking some ownership about this secret because you could have fired me whenever. But now it seems like it's not just my secret. It's your secret, too.
Yeah.
Which I think is right.
It is fair. She's known it long enough. She's known it, now she owns it.
She needs to, yes, exactly.
Yeah. And then we see Scotty, Miss Abigail Spencer. She's back. You know, she loves this guy. So anything he says, she's going to do. He comes right in. He's like, I need a favor. She's like, oh, hey, Scotty, how are you? Which is like kind of a real dick move. Like, he could have at least said, hello, how are you? What's going on? He like literally sits down. It's like, I need a favor.
Yeah. I can also see, though, him sitting down and then leading her on and her also being upset.
That's
like,
fair.
if they had a conversation and she loves this man... And then all of a sudden he's like, by the way, I need a favor. Could have been a bait and switch.
That's fair. I guess there's not really
There's not a good way to go about it. And he knows it.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, can you please back off this case against Robert Zane? And she was like, I can't do this. I just started at this firm and I told him that this case was winnable. And he goes, if you don't do this, I'm in real big trouble. And she goes, okay, you only get to ask this once. And I never want to hear the name Mike Ross again.
Yeah.
Like, he can't come to her again. So she does it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now we see outside the elevators the words Pearson, Spectre, Lit. They're officially up. I am sporting my Pearson Spectre
You were
Lit
wearing
shirt.
the shirt tonight. You wore it out today, and you probably got some good...
So many compliments.
People were like, yeah, I know what's up.
Yeah, what's up? I will note that Lit is on the second line.
Yeah, well,
it's like
you know.
Pearson, Spectre.
It wasn't really earned.
Right. It's like, it's below. It's beneath them.
Makes sense.
Lewis is just staring at it like a little psychopath.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's just reeling and still so mad.
Wait a minute. You called him a psychopath, but like last week you called me a psychopath when I walked back by your house after I changed shirts. So my other impromptu deposition here is, are you saying that because I returned to the scene of the crime where I was trying to hide a t-shirt to commit to a bit from you, and that was a psychopath move, is that the same as Lewis Lit staring and looking at the sign? I just need to know. Are there levels of psychopath in your eyes?
I think that there's a common Amanda throughout all of Lewis's life. You know, there's a common thread.
Wow!
And a river runs through Both of these incidents had to do with the words Pierce Inspector Lit being prominently displayed. And so maybe that's the common factor here. Like one, Pierce Inspector Lit was prominently displayed on your own chest, forcing you to make...
By the way, it was not a tattoo, in case you're wondering.
T-shirt. Forcing you to make choices that were outside of your character.
That's fair.
And here, Pierce Inspector Lit is on the wall, forcing Lewis to make choices that are outside of his character.
It's weird because I didn't actually think it was outside of my character. I was trying to protect the podcast, which I feel like is something I would do in character.
And you know what? Lewis is trying to protect the firm.
Okay. There we go.
It's all the same.
Okay. All right. Let's keep it going. I'm so sorry to.
No, it's an important question.
It's important work we're doing.
I'm very loosely using the word psychopath, and I need to consider that.
Yeah, I think just because it's really sat with me since last week when you said I was a psychopath and returned to the scene of the crime in a fresh T-shirt. And when I walked around the bend, because I didn't want you to know that this fictional character was going to become a partner and he didn't earn it. That's how much I care about this podcast and show.
You care so much.
I care so much that I ran.
You care so much, and it shows.
Thank you. If anything, I care. You know?
It comes through the headphones. So he wants to have an unveiling of Lit.
This is so stupid.
At
to have an
4 p.m.
unveiling.
sharp.
Yeah.
And Jessica's like, that's the dumbest thing. We've never done that ever. But then she turns it around on Lewis, and she's like, actually, like, because we're partners and we're real partners, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it because we're partners in this. And that makes Lewis feel like, oh, good, we're partners. Yay.
So then she makes Mike work on his partner agreement because it's non-billable work and it's the reason they're all in this. And so he's still working on all of it, and he's not going to go to the unveiling even though Harvey wants him to go. And Harvey says, enough is enough. And they go to confront Lewis. And Jessica walks in with the agreement and names Lewis as a co-conspirator for hiring Mike. She is basically taking Lewis's gun away. So now in order for him to have this party, he has to sign this agreement that says, I know Mike Ross
is a fraud. And there are all of those people out there waiting, and he's like, you played me, or whatever he says, and she's like, well, yeah, but don't hate the player, hate the game.
Well, also he did use Mike Ross's fraud in order to get the name partner.
I know,
so you can't
and
have
I said
it both
it in our
ways.
brief last time. Isn't it ironic that, like,
Yes.
you know, Lewis is the reason that Mike came back, and then Mike's the reason that Lewis came back?
Yes.
He used him.
He used him 100%. So
Big
he
time
can't
used.
he can't be like, I'm a named partner, but I don't know about Mike Ross, because it's like you 1,000% do.
Because that's the reason you're named
Yes.
partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was wool over. I thought that was just makes sense. Now you're a partner,
Yeah.
right? But he's taken aback by it. Fun things that happen at this unveiling. Mike says to Rachel, "This firm is changing names more than Prince," which was funny.
That's it. It's a good line. And then Mike gets nervous that Rachel doesn't know who Prince is.
Then he's like, "I almost beat Lewis up for you. You scared me."
Yeah.
And she goes, "I was joking." Oh my gosh, they love each other so much. They're really cute. At the ceremony, Jessica is talking all about this new beginning. And this is a chance to like wipe the slate clean. And what a beautiful speech to everyone. And people are just nodding along. And what a great unveiling. And then Harvey's like, was that your plan the whole time to have him sign that document?
Uh-huh.
And she's like, yeah, it was. And he's like, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, because you're a horrible actor. You're a shitty actor.
And I needed you to be impacted by it.
Mm-hmm. Lewis needed to see you suffering, and you would never have been able to act like you were suffering unless you were truly suffering.
Yeah. Which is so interesting because like this whole scene where she talks about him being a bad actor, I think the whole scene is actually pretty bad acting. Like this scene bothers me so much because it feels like it's shoehorned in there. Like I feel like they're doing it to like justify why they did it. And I'm like, I don't think that it was necessary. It did not move this story forward. And it was just... it was like all of a sudden I was like, hey Jessica, you were right. I don't know, it was just a weird, awkward
because
scene.
he accepts his responsibility, Jessica accepts her responsibility in the Mike Ross thing, and then they're just like, cool, great, now it's a clean slate. I think that was the point of it, was like to show a clean slate. But you're right, it was very
scene.
meta too, because they're like, oh yeah, actors, anyone thinks they can act but they can't act, ha ha ha, we're actors.
Carl did that. He did that. Carl.
Jessica then asks Jeff Malone if he's ready for the truth. And she tells him that Daniel Hardman embezzled money from the firm and she covered it up. And she adjusted the books and Lewis found out about it. And then he used that as leverage and she didn't want to risk losing everything. Yeah. So she tells him something bad that did happen.
Yeah, so that part is true. That happened.
But not the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Right.
So help her God. And he's like,
I love you and your secret's safe with me.
Mm-hmm. He's so excited.
He
didn't have to marry her now.
He doesn't have to marry her. He knows her secret.
Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? The cow being Jessica, the milk being the lies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would you buy the cow when the embezzlement's dripping from the teat?
That's true. It's a straight up teat embezzlement.
Invisible teat.
Rachel goes to see her daddy, and she brings him the resume of his newest associate, which is Katrina Amanda Bennett. So Rachel's going to go help Katrina get a job. Because
Katrina Amanda Bennett is a great attorney.
She's a great attorney.
And she should be hired.
I wonder if it's they made it Katrina Amanda Bennett because her name is Amanda Scholl.
But what is the name of the actor who plays Sheila Sass?
It's Rachel Harris.
So not Amanda.
We don't know her middle name.
Yeah. I think that Carl just is obsessed with you.
He is obsessed with me.
He's like a psychopath for Amanda Austin.
By psychopath? What do you mean? No, I'm kidding. Okay, last scene here.
Okay. Donna gives Lewis a slice of cake with the name Lit on it.
A perfectly cut slice of cake with
I
Lit.
almost didn't think it was a slice of cake.
Did you feel like it was just fake?
Yeah, it looked so fake. It was perfectly sliced. No crumbs anywhere.
It probably was. Our department probably had that made it's fake.
Yeah, but no, it was just like perfectly cut. He does not trust her intentions. And then he asks Donna straight up. He's like, if you want to be my friend, have you ever slept with Harvey? And she's like, one time. And
that's how much I'm willing to tell you to get your trust back.
Yes. Yeah. What an overreach.
Talk
about a reach around.
Whammy! Whammy! Pressing your luck, Lewis Lit.
Oh my.
Take care of PCT.
Okay, episode 12 starts. We roll right into it.
We rolling in.
I'm binging.
You're binging.
But small binge.
Yeah.
So Harvey and Jessica are on the rooftop. And they have not been on the rooftop in a couple seasons.
It's been a while.
It was like season 2 or 3 the last time they were.
Yeah.
I guess last season, not this season.
Definitely not this season. I thought it was season 2, but maybe it was season 3.
I don't know, but she has a fabulous fur on.
She does.
Faux fur, probably.
This almost looks fake to me.
Like they're not actually on a roof.
Yeah. I think there was a one time when the camera turned that I'm like, okay, I think they're up there. This location is fascinating to me because it's like he's stepping over some railroad tracks up there. And she's in a fur. It's like, why would you go up there and those clothes are not from Amazon.
No.
Okay? Why would you go up there in those very, very fancy clothes when there's railroad tracks on a roof to have a discussion? Well, you just have it in the boardroom.
Or why wouldn't you, if it's so secret, why wouldn't you like go to each other's apartment and then wear sweatpants?
Right. Why aren't they wearing more sweatpants?
It's a question I ask myself every episode.
It's called suits.
That's why. That's why they can't.
Yeah.
So she tells Harvey about the Hardman embezzlement that she told to Jeff Malone. Mm-hmm. He's like, you're an idiot, basically. And he turns and walks away in a huff and puff. Lewis is then loving his name on the wall. And then who comes out of the elevator?
Henry Gerard.
Professor Gerard from Harvard Law Ethics class. Mm-hmm. And he's at the firm to speak to Harvey. And he actually wants nothing to do with Lewis, who is the one who loves Gerard. And then we see Mike and Harvey are walking and they're talking about Iceman versus Maverick. And Harvey's like, everyone wants to be Iceman because he wins. Mm-hmm. And Gerard also has an opinion about Top Gun. And he is already in Harvey's office. He needs a lawyer. He needs a win. This is about a Liberty Railway bribe that he says he did not take.
He did not take a bribe for Liberty Railway. That is a true statement.
So he's like, I need someone, though, who is willing to bend the laws a little bit.
And let's just remember, if you happen to miss this episode where we discover or we reveal that Henry Gerard is Harvey Specter's dad in real life. So this is Stephen Mock and Gabrielle Mock. So they're playing like a real intense I hate you, you hate me scene. But they're father-son.
But I love it because just foreshadowing of this episode, how Harvey has so much respect for Gerard.
Yeah.
And it does feel like a father-son relationship in that, like, he just holds this man on a pedestal. Yeah. And so he gets completely crushed and broken. But then Gerard does the right thing in the very end.
Yep.
So that's what's going to happen. But let's go into detail about it.
Yes.
Harvey tells Gerard he's not going to take his case.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not doing it. No, get out of here. Get out of my office.
Right. And Mike comes in and sees Harvey peeing in the bathroom and calls him an idiot for not taking Gerard as a client. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, no, you're a jackass.
Yeah, he does wash his hands afterwards.
Yes, they're washing the hands. He's peeing. And
then he goes and washes his hands.
Zips up, goes, washes his hands.
Yeah.
They continue the conversation.
Yeah.
I just gotta say, they talk so loud in the bathroom about Mike Ross's fraud frequently at this firm. Mm-hmm. And you gotta think.
What if somebody's dropping a number 2 in there and they hear it? Is that what you're gonna say?
That, or like you could hear things outside the bathroom walls too. You know,
like you put a cup up to the wall?
Yeah, or just walking by, you door swinging.
Thin?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can hear things in bathrooms all the time.
Oh, okay. Now I know where you get your goss.
I get all my goss just hanging in the bathroom wall. Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Jessica tells Lewis that she lied to Jeff Malone about why his name is on the wall because it was suspicious. Mm-hmm. And Lewis is like, I want respect. I want one of Harvey's clients. That's how I will show that I deserve respect.
He wants to take care of PCT, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it is.
He doesn't just want the RESE.
Yeah, he wants privately cool thinkers, which are what their clients are. Privately cool thinkers.
Mm-hmm. They are privately cool thinkers for sure, and that's what Lewis wants. He wants one of Harvey's clients. Mm-hmm. So, speaking of Harvey, he's in a super cute coffee shop.
Yeah, it's real
cute. So cute. I know.
Why
it's
are they
doubles there? Up the stairs, and he walks up the stairs into the back corner to meet with Gerard, who cannot explain why he had a suitcase full of cash, but Harvey knows because he had that dirt on him from earlier. Mm-hmm. The reason he had it is because he's a gambler, or that's what Harvey assumes. Mm-hmm. And he had won a big pot.
Right.
And Gerard says that Garrett Brady is the guy on the other side of the suit.
Yeah, the lawyer on the other side
is the lawyer on the other side of the suit who's coming for him. Mm-hmm. So Mike
Who was in Scandal, by the way.
Oh, Scandal. That's where he was from. Mm-hmm. He looked familiar.
Yeah.
Then Mike needs to find out all the dirt on Garrett Brady because they need to know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
So Mike finds out through his research that Brady bribed the TSA to get the dirt on Gerard because how else would he know he had a suitcase full of cash? Yeah. Even if TSA knew, he wouldn't be privy to it.
Right.
And Harvey's like, wow, you found that out? And he's like, yeah, and I would have found out sooner, but I was waiting on my sushi order. Yeah. And Harvey's like, oh, now you've upgraded to sushi.
Yeah, no longer ordering pizza.
Which makes me have a deposition.
Yeah.
Go to fancy takeout.
Go to fancy takeout? Mm-hmm. Sushi.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll get some sushi and bring it home.
Yeah.
I ain't too proud. What about you?
Indian food.
Indian food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Particularly when Kyle's gone.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, we had it not too long ago. It was great.
So good.
I was like, this is so much food, and then I brought it home and ate the rest of it the next morning for breakfast.
Yes! It's so good.
It is so good. We got to be eating Indian food more often. You can just come over here. I'm going to order before we record one time, and you can just eat it.
Oh, my God, I would die.
Yeah.
That would be so good. Okay, excellent. Thank you. That's what I really wanted to get out of that deposition.
Okay.
So Harvey and Mike go and confront Brady at a food truck, and Brady's like, actually, this is a national security issue because he had a suitcase full of cash. Yeah. And so you're not going to get me to shut up.
Yeah.
And
this case is not going to be dismissed.
It's definitely not going to be dismissed.
Yeah.
So womp, 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 womp.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Lewis is back at the firm, and he's decided which client he wants of Harvey's.
Yes.
Guess who it is?
He wants Gerard.
Yeah, he does. And he's not going to let anything go. And Harvey is not going to let any of his clients go. And he's certainly not Gerard.
Well, and he finally says, hey, you know what? When Gerard said he wanted an attorney, I said, you can go see Lewis. He goes, I don't want Lewis. I want you.
Which is crushing.
You could see Lewis's lip like quivered for a second. He's like, okay.
I'm not Mr. Tough Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all he wants is respect, and no one respects him.
Yeah.
So Donna tells Harvey, you're acting like a real Lewis by not dropping things. Like, you just got to let it go. This is why Lewis gets into trouble. He can't drop it.
Right.
So you need to drop it. And so Donna goes and gives Lewis the first client that Harvey ever got after making name partner.
Yeah.
Lewis is like, oh, words don't matter or whatever. And then Donna calls him Fatty Baldy.
Yeah. Which is like harsh.
Harsh, Dawn.
Yeah. But she was trying to show how he reacts to that kind of stuff.
Right, because words do matter.
Yep.
Lewis then thinks that Rachel should do whatever word he wants ASAP because he's named partner. And So he's going to talk to her about, like, give me this client's, all the stats on this client's stock and dinky-dinky-dinky-doo, because I have to impress her. Rachel's trying to tell Lewis, like, I don't think that's a good approach. She's trying to help him, and he will not hear it. He's too busy being an asshole. Such an asshole that he makes her stand up and bring the paper to him.
And she slow walks that file over there.
Because he could have just reached and grabbed it, but he's doing so many power moves.
Yes.
And he's not listening to people.
No,
and when you're in a position of power, you need to listen to people.
Right.
Because otherwise you're going to do what Lewis is doing,
right.
which is make a big doo-doo dum-dum mistake.
Right.
Because he goes and meets with the client, and he wants to just talk about business. And she's like, actually, I just want to enjoy dinner. That's what we usually do with Harvey. You can email me everything. And he's like, well, I already emailed your board because they're going to love all this info about your
new product.
And she's like, you flippin' idiot.
I have people rolling off the board. Their terms are up. They're going to go tell, and they're being poached by competitors right now.
Yes. You dum-dum. Did you even go? She goes, do you even go to law school?
Which is like such a sick burn.
Because
also, like,
Mike Ross didn't go to law school, and he wouldn't have made that mistake.
And that's like a real thing in the corporate board world. This is not like a nonprofit board situation. Like, these corporate boards, they're big time.
And cutthroat.
Cutthroat, too. It's hard to get on them. It's a paid position.
Yeah.
People do poach you to be on other board. Like, it's a big deal.
Yeah. So she's pissed, and Lewis has made a huge mistake. And she just really misses Harvey.
Yeah.
Lewis is, like, pissed, and he goes and tells Rachel that she's going to stay all night.
Yeah.
Because he messed up, basically. And he's like, you set me up. And she goes, actually, I didn't. She reads him for filth of being a horrible professional. She's like, you didn't listen. You made a mistake. I should go home, but I'm going to stay because I'm a part of this team.
And I'm a professional.
And I am a professional.
Yeah.
So I will stay because I care about the team here, not because I give two shits about you, Lewis Litt.
Yeah, no kidding.
No shits about Litt.
Yeah, no shits about Litt. Harvey is, then we see him outside. He's getting a bagel for success because we know he gets different kinds of bagels, right? Brady said this is a matter of national security. So then Harvey's like, well, if it's a matter of national security, then he's going to have to testify under seal, which means it's in private. Nobody's going to hear it. So no one will be the wiser. So then Harvey says, you've got to go prep Gerard because I'm not going to do it. To which I wrote, this sounds like a bad idea. And the fact that, like, Harvey says, go prep Gerard, and Mike's like, okay, rather than being like, Harvey, I can't prep Gerard.
I didn't go to Harvard.
It's clearly setting us up for what's going to happen.
Yes. This is a big, huge setup.
Yeah, because, like, they didn't even, he was like, sure, whatever. I don't know.
Why?
This was bad. This is bad writing, Carl.
This was bad writing because Mike Ross totally would have been like,
yeah, they would have, yeah, and Harvey wouldn't have put him in that position.
Yes. So Gerard is going over his poker game with Mike about how he won. Blah, 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 blah. And Gerard totally missteps. And Mike's like, wait a second. Wait. Your story doesn't line up. Because Mike counts cards. And so he's telling the story about what the guy on his left had, what the guy on his right had, what Gerard had. And there's too many queens.
Too many queens. Too many queens in the kitchen.
Too many queens in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It turns out Gerard took a bribe, not from the railway, but from a student.
To change his grade.
And Harvey is not going to support perjury.
Hell no.
So he's like, I can't do this.
Right.
Whew, this is no good. Meanwhile, some other things that have been happening at the firm. Mm-hmm. Jeff makes this wonderful fancy dinner, or orders in a fancy dinner for Jessica because he's feeling so much closer to her.
I know, and she feels so guilty.
Because it's all about, he thinks that because she's revealed Hardman's embezzlement, and he's like, oh my gosh, now I just like feel like we can have a relationship. So here's this fancy dinner.
It's his compromise of not marrying her, but still getting all the milk. You know?
He's just trying to milk her for all she's worth. Mm-hmm. And then we see Lewis with his legs up on a couch, and he's just kicking him.
Doing some weird thing.
Kicking him up and down because he says restless leg syndrome kills 14 people every hour, which Rachel doesn't really believe, but she is there because she has solved the problem for Lewis about this firm. It's
also the 1 second in this show, in this episode, where we see the old Lewis doing something stupid, like kicking his legs about saying restless leg syndrome. You know, like that's the old Lewis.
A small glimpse.
That he still exists.
And that Rachel comes in at that moment and solves the problem, and then we see him kind of light up like this is so great before he remembers that he doesn't celebrate anything anymore.
Right.
So we do see that he's still in there. It's like he's trapped in there. We got to get him out. Mm-hmm. We got to get Lewis Litt out of there.
Get him out of there.
It's like the mud all dried on him.
We got to crack it.
We got to crack it open.
See that cute little lip butt.
Mm-hmm. Give me that booty. So the way that Rachel solved the problem for Lewis is that they can get all of the people that were on the board of this corporate board to sign NDAs, basically say that anything that was introduced to them is intellectual property, kind of, or like...
Yeah, well, they just can't... Yeah, they can't disclose it. It's like an NDA. It's an NDA and NCC and probably a non-disparage, but like...
Yeah, all these NDAs.
And they're saying it... She's like, they're not employees. She's like, yes, they are. They're paid. They have company... Like...
They have offices.
Yeah.
So it works out. So Lewis goes to Miss Walsh's office to present this winning solution from Rachel. And she's like, wow, this is so great. And she goes... You know, I keep getting passed along because no one wants to deal with me, but I really appreciate you fixing this problem. And then Lewis's face, she's like, oh, you didn't know that, like, I'm not the cool kid.
Yeah, I keep getting passed down.
And then she's like, maybe you're not the cool kid either. Maybe we do belong together.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's hard for Lewis.
Because he's got no SPCT.
No, he doesn't.
No PCT
no
for
PCT.
Lewis.
Somebody needs to take care of it for him. Yep. So Harvey's with Mike, and Harvey's just like really upset about this. He's like, I don't care about winning Gerard's case. And Mike's like, why? Like, why would you not care? He's like, I'm just disappointed because I thought he was better than us. Like, he's supposed to be this ethics professor, and like he holds him in such high regard, right? Like, he's thinking there's no way, and that's why he's disappointed.
So Mike suggests, like, maybe we could make Gerard better than he is.
Yeah.
Like, let's give him a chance to be that person that you hold on the pedestal.
Yep.
So he goes to the student who tried to bribe Gerard and convinces him to say that it was a loan.
Yeah.
How nice.
Yeah, he gets him there by saying he's getting interviewed by Pierce Inspector.
Yeah, and the guy's like, I should totally be in Pierce Inspector. And Mike's like, no, you shouldn't. You should not bribe your ethics professor.
This is also, though, where, you know, it's contradictory because, like, Mike's high and mighty about it, but Mike is sitting there without a law degree.
Yes. He's full of contradictions.
He's two-faced.
He's a two-faced, but not in a way that I think is slimy.
No.
Just in a way that has incredible dissonance.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So Gerard was so impressed with Mike that he's looking through all his school records and doesn't find any record of Mike being in his class. And he's talking to Harvey. It's like, okay, well, you know, Harvey just kind of distracts.
Because he says the circumstances don't matter.
Yes.
Which is what Gerard taught them. The circumstances don't matter. That's not what we're worried about. And circumstances don't matter.
So Gerard's like, great, you were listening. And also Harvey's going to pay back that loan for Gerard. Yeah. Which feels like kind of a bribe because Gerard knows that Mike wasn't in his ethics class. I think Harvey was going to do it anyways. Yeah.
$25,000 for Harvey is nothing compared to for somebody on a professor's salary. Don't get me wrong. They make a great salary at Harvard, but still...
Oh, but what Harvey makes is insane.
Oh, Harvey makes
Boku bucks.
Like in a week what Gerard makes in a year.
Yes. Yeah. So that was very nice of him.
Yeah. Well, because Gerard's never actually practiced law. He's only ever taught it.
Only theory.
Yeah.
Something else that happens is Lewis goes and tells Donna that all he wants is respect. And Donna's like, well, then it's time to get on the goddamn team. And go fix one of the 1,000 things that you've screwed up lately.
And she gave him the biz.
She gave him the biz, just like he gave them the biz when he came in and was so mad. And
she turned around and became big mad with him.
She was like, no. Enough is enough. Yes. Like we learned in the last episode. Like, just, you have to fix things.
Yeah.
You can't be like this forever. So then we hear this song start to play. That's one of my favorite songs that's ever played in this. And it goes, where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? And then it says, who can we trust from here? Who can we trust?
That's great.
Thank you. It's just playing and it's so dramatic because all these things are happening. Like, where do we go from here?
Yeah, where do we?
Where do we go?
Really? And you even wrote, like, who is he going to go fix first? What is he going to, what relationship he's going to go try and mend first?
Who? Because he has so many.
Yeah.
And then he chooses Jeff Malone.
Which is an interesting choice, but it's him doubling down to like make sure that Jeff Malone buys into it.
Yes. And he goes in and yells about Hardman and about how, like, he better not tell anybody you
blah blah blah,
don't do it.
Yeah.
And he does it, he sells it. And then he shows Jessica, he like winks at her kind of. And then the song says, who do we trust from here? Who can we trust? And it's like, who can we trust?
We don't know.
Yeah. We don't know who we can trust.
Yeah.
So Mike and Harvey meet up for thanks and drinks and closure about Gerard.
Yeah.
And Mike says, gosh, I thought you were here to tell me that Gerard knows, because it felt like for a moment he was looking at me. And then Harvey lies and says Gerard doesn't know.
And then he makes a face. He goes, Gerard doesn't know. And then he makes like a face with his eyes. And I'm like, don't make the face.
That's such a tell.
I see it.
But who can we trust from here? Who can we trust?
You know what? I can trust you to sit right next to me on that commuter booty train down to Prediction Town if you want to go.
Let's go. Chugga, 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 chugga,
Choo,
choo, choo, choo. I feel like I made more predictions this time. I was just like, all these lies that are happening
This is just a lot. These episodes are a lot.
feel like small lies. They feel like small little embellishments of the truth. But these small lies are going to blow up in everyone's face, and I feel like it's going to be dominoes, like a house of cards. It's going to be like this lie, this lie, this lie, this lie. They're all kind of connected, and so you light the match on one, and everything's...
Yeah. It's so much.
Wait, this is...
Oh, listen to that ASMR.
Yeah, I made some fire sounds. You light the match on one, and...
That's my fire sound. It goes...
Yeah, I think it's going to burn. Things are going to burn, and I think it's going to burn at the end of the season. It's going to be like, season finale from the last season was really mild. Or was it season 2?
It's a little milder.
This season's going to have an explosive season finale. I can feel it.
Something's going to literally explode, yeah.
Brewing, yes. Hardman, I think, is going to come back and bite Jessica in the ass. Not the actual Hardman, but the embezzlement thing, so possibly the actual Hardman. Maybe Jeff Malone turns Lewis in or something.
Interesting.
Like Lewis is being such a dick, and then Jeff Malone's like, you know what? Lewis did, I don't know, just something there. Mm-hmm. It feels like this was a huge secret, and now this huge secret's out because they have this other big secret, but they never should have let either one of those secrets out, really.
Right.
Like, both are really bad.
Yeah.
Lewis is going to use Donna and Harvey sleeping together as fodder for a favor.
Interesting. Yeah,
like,
why did you even said that at the end of the last episode?
Yeah, so that's why I put it in. I put it in after episode 11, actually.
Okay.
Gerard is going to come back about Mike because he has ethics and he won't let a lie like this die. Like, it's going to eat at him a little bit. Even though Harvey is bribing him by paying back the loan, which I don't think is actually a bribe, but it could be kind of a bribe because it's like, well, now I've paid you $25,000.
That's a gray area for sure on the books.
For sure, gray area. But I do feel like Gerard's not gone forever.
Okay.
I think we'll see him again.
Okay.
Katrina at Zane is really interesting to me. I feel like she's going to come back to Lewis, or Lewis will go to her, and I don't know how long Lewis can be a villain like this at Pearson Spectre Lit.
Fair.
Like, I don't know how long he will last.
Fair.
Is the name on the wall that important to him? I don't know. Lewis, I think, is going to have to start to defrost from his evil villain era. Okay. Maybe it'll be next season. Like, maybe he'll go all throughout season 4 being a villain, but he needs to defrost from this.
So if he doesn't, by the end of this season, you'll think in next season he'll defrost.
Maybe it starts season 5 and he's started to defrost, or something happens at the end of this season that starts his little defrosting. But
so it's like a natural defrosting, not like oh crap, I need to defrost this and put it in the microwave.
No, he's not microwave defrosting. I think it's going to like slowly chip. The ice is going to chip off his shoulders.
It's going to melt naturally.
Okay. Maybe a little salt on it to make it melt a little faster.
You can put it in some warm water.
But no
sink.
heat.
Yeah.
No heat to melt.
That's fair.
Although maybe it'll like the pressure.
It'll explode.
I just can't imagine being Lewis Lit, wanting to have your name on the wall, and then that's how you get it. Ugh.
He's Angry Town.
He's Angry Town.
Yeah. But I'm glad you stuck it out. I mean, you were texting, you're like, he is unhinged. He is out of control.
He is out of control.
You know what's not out of control is the number of reviews we have. It could be higher out of control.
We could get out of control. We could have way more. We have new subscribers, though. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed.
Yeah, thank you so much. We do have a lot of new subscribers, which is exciting. It's fun to see that number go tick, 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 tick up, tick, tick, up. Tick up. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can find us at onlysuitsfans.com, and you can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you're wondering what your review should start with, why don't you start it with Carl the writer.
Oh, yeah. ...
and then finish it.
Finish it.
You know, you finish it. I'm just telling you, like, Carl the writer's got some weird things he's working out.
And we want to hear from you.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah. And Carl, we do want to hear from you. We have mad respect for what you've done.